Good morning. Today is October 1st, and this is Taitz report. Well, there are a few things that happened in the last few days that are important to discuss. One of them, of course, was a big win for US Congress in the Fast and Furious case. This case was brought by the chair of the House Oversight Committee, Congressman Darrell Issa, Republican from California. And it was brought when all the evidence showed that Operation Fast and Furious was conducted by high-ranking officials of the U.S. Department of Justice, going up to Eric Holder and possibly under orders of Barack Obama. When Darrell Issa issued a subpoena for Eric Holder to appear in court, Holder refused to appear and provide necessary documents, and Barack Obama issued a statement that Eric Holder should not appear because Barack Obama is invoking presidential immunity. Well, it's interesting, if Barack Obama was not involved in this, if he did not give orders to Eric Holder to sell thousands of assault weapons to drug cartels in Mexico, why would Barack Obama need to assert presidential immunity? A, he couldn't do it because he wouldn't have anything to hide, and B, of course, there would be no sense of doing this. So indirectly it showed that the orders came from Barack Obama. As Holder refused to testify before the House Judiciary Committee, there was a vote in the House of Representatives, and Holder was found to be in contempt of the U.S. Congress. And of course, Congress forwarded this to the Department of Justice, seeking criminal charges against Eric Holder. However, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia did not want to go against his superior, his boss, Eric Holder, and refused to file criminal charges. At which point, the House of Representatives filed civil case seeking an adjudication by the U.S. District Court judge. The case went to the actually Obama appointee, Judge Amy Berman Jackson, and the case sat in court for over a year, and it was a great concern because a case like this should have been adjudicated much faster. However, on Monday, yesterday, Judge Jackson Berman issued a ruling, and the ruling is in favor of the House of Representatives. She stated that Eric Holder's argument was with no merit because Eric Holder was claiming that any and all issues, disagreements between different branches of government have to be resolved through mediation and agreement and not in the court of law, because otherwise, if Judge Berman Jackson rules in favor of the U.S. Congress, there will be a flood of similar subpoenas and cases. Judge disagreed with Holder. She ruled in favor of the U.S. Congress. She denied motion to dismiss this case, and case proceeds. So Holder would have to provide the court and U.S. Congress the documents in relation to Fast and Furious. And what we expect is that those documents will show that Barack Obama was the one who gave the orders to ship those assault weapons or allow those weapons to be shipped to drug cartels in Mexico. And as we know, 70,000 citizens of Mexico were killed through this violence. One U.S. U.S. Border Patrol agent, Brian Terry, was killed as well. So there has to be accountability, and hopefully this case will proceed very quickly from here. Well, next thing that happened, of course, as we know, at 12 a.m., U.S. government shut down because of impasse between the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. What's interesting that the Democrats were stating that this is something that will hurt the Republicans badly. Well, that's not the case. Recent Pew poll showed that the public will blame the Republicans and Democrats pretty much equally. And I have posted this poll on my website, Orly Taitz, ESQ.com, ORLY, T as in Tom, AI, T as in Tom, Z, Orly Taitz, ESQ.com. You can go on my website and you can see the actual poll. So that's really important. And I believe as time goes by and the Republicans are standing strong on their principles, you would see that the public will actually turn around and the public opinion will turn against the Senate Democrats and Barack Obama. You might ask, why so? Well, the answer is very simple. Because the Republicans in the House of Representatives have shown a willingness to negotiate and compromise. Originally, they stated that in spite of the fact that Barack Obama has incurred totally an unconscionable and immoral debt, as a matter of fact, Obama has incurred as much debt as 42 presidents in 230 years of US history. In spite of all that, they will be willing to work with Obama and Democrats in the US Senate and increase the debt ceiling even further, however, with some limitations. One of them is defunding Obamacare because it's a new program. Obama estimated that it will cost about $1 trillion within 10 years. Now we see that it will double. It will be $2 trillion. He already incurred $7 trillion of additional debt. We have, by estimates, between 120 to 200 trillion of unfunded obligations. This program was never funded, and it's just immoral to go ahead and start a new program when you have no money to pay for it. Well, the Democrats in the Senate rejected that offer. Republicans came with a second offer where they said, okay, you are not willing to defund Obamacare. Delay it for 1 year. We will fund the government right away, all of the departments, but you have to delay Obamacare for a year, specifically because you have given exemptions and delays for corporations, you exempted the US Congress, and so forth. Second offer, second proposed compromise went nowhere. So at that point, the Republicans have offered a third compromise, and that compromise was for not to defund the Obamacare. We can fund the government. We will not defund the Obamacare. However, we will delay for a year an individual mandate. What it means? Obama has given a delay to corporations, and because of this delay, the corporations will not have to pay any penalties if they do not contribute to the healthcare plans of their employees. However, ordinary Americans did not get any extensions, any exemptions, any delays. Further, U.S. Congress was given an exemption by Barack Obama. However, this exemption was not given to ordinary citizens. So what Republicans were proposing is equal treatment for U.S. citizens. Same treatment that is given to corporations and that is given to U.S. Congress. This was not given. Lastly, Republicans in the U.S. Congress have offered yet another compromise to have a select committee and discuss those issues and come to a decision, to a compromise. However, the Senate Democrats refuse to do even that. So as all this information becomes public, I believe that the public is going to be livid, and not against the Republicans in the U.S. Congress. They will be livid against Barack Obama and Harry Reid and Senate Democrats because their actions are totally unreasonable, simply because they want exemptions for themselves. They want something like $10,000 a year for them and their families in subsidies paid by us, by we the people. They are holding the whole nation hostage, and they will pay for this come 2014. Next, here's another issue that needs to be discussed, and the fact that on Friday, Barack Obama is traveling to Taipei for the meeting of TPP, which is Trans-Pacific Partnership. And TPP is pretty much NAFTA on steroids. This is going to be a free trade agreement between 12 Asia Pacific countries, Pacific Rim countries, and it will rob American workers from a few remaining manufacturing jobs. They were already robbed of millions of jobs. We see unemployment skyrocket. We see that today we have 102 million adult Americans who are not working. We have about 11.5 million who are on unemployment, and another 90 million who just stopped looking for work. We have 18 million that got on bonus disability. And we are seeing that the number of working Americans in the labor force, meaning people who are currently working or who are actively looking for work, went down by 10 million people since Barack Obama took office. And you can see how un-American and treasonous his actions are. In spite of such huge unemployment, he's going to sign this TPP treaty, which of course will need to be ratified by the US Congress. This is a treaty that will rob us of remaining jobs. This is a targeted effort to destroy the US economy, destroy the lifestyle of American citizens. Why so? Because it's a push by international oligarchy to the New World Order, one world government that is run by, 100, 200, 300 wealthiest families of billionaires around the world who are protected by corporate status, who are pretty much writing laws and expect those laws to override the constitutions of independent nations. And therefore, it is so important that each and every one of you call the US Congress, call the US Senate. I would suggest that you start with Senate Democrats and shame the living daylights out of them. First, you demand no ratification of TPP because it's an anti-American and treasonous agreement. Two, you demand that Senate Democrats show some moral values, some integrity and honesty, some conscience, and first agree to meet with House Republicans, and they agree to waive or dismantle all of the subsidies that are given to the US Congress, to the congressmen and their staffs and their aides in healthcare. All of the subsidies by the taxpayers. It is unconscionable and immoral for US taxpayers who on average are making $35,000 a year to subsidize, to pay for the health care of those fat cats sitting in the US Senate who are getting $175,000 a year salary, plus million other benefits. Each US congressman has $4 million allowance for office supplies, believe it or not. Personal and office supplies. They have multiple subsidies, allowances, and we should not be paying for their health care. They're getting high enough of a salary from us, and they should be able to pay for their health care, and they should be enrolled in exchanges, Obamacare exchanges, just like everybody else, and they should pay out of their own pockets. Further, if they're giving a 1-year delay to corporations, they should give the same delay to American citizens on individual mandate. They should not charge penalties of American citizens when they do not charge such penalties of corporations, particularly now when corporations are doing away with health care of families of their employees, when they're cutting hours and leaving employees working less than 30 hours a week so they would not have to pay health care for anybody. That's what is happening. Billions of dollars that until now was paid by corporations, by companies, by the employers will disappear, and all of us will have to pay this out of our pocket, or at least about 100 million who are still working and who have to pay and subsidize on their backs all of the ones who do not work. 105 million adults and about 75 million children. This is a serious problem, and that is something that might exacerbate already failing US economy and will lead us to bankruptcy very quickly. So please start by calling US senators and mostly Democrats, tell them to sit down and negotiate with the House of Representatives until they come up with a budget, with an agreement on continuing resolution, until they come up with a budget. And they better come up with a balanced budget, because we can no longer pay interest on the debt, enormous debt that was incurred in the last years. And tell them no on amnesty, no on immigration reform. It will only steal more American jobs. Definitely no on TPP. And while you're at it, renegotiate or rescind NAFTA and WTO again, because those agreements are the ones that are responsible for the demise of the economy of this nation. Those are the agreements that robbed American workers of estimated 28 million good paying industrial manufacturing jobs. This has to end now. Thank you, and this is Orly Taitz for the Taitz Report.